Hi there, Yang here again with another series of the Create Your Own Sample for the Ascent Combat framework. There was a delay between the recordings because I had a surgery, so I'm still recovering at the moment, but I want to have the two last actions that we need as a space. All the rest of the actions will be games specific. So like I'm opening the sample project, so as the sample has a lot of specific elements in it. So we are interested in our that, and we are interested in the hit. That are the two we need to do. So we're going to go back to the example. We go to our animation blueprint of the character, class defaults, drag that over and close everything for the moment. Yep, voila, we are interested in the common actions. Use we did, dodge we don't need. Immediately also not hit, that is hit, so hit. Where did that here? No. The hit, let investigate how it's built. So the hit is basically a collection of several sequences. So you have a back, a front, a left, and a right. Okay, so is there something else we see? Yes. Only here we have a starting action. Okay, so stop it, move it to the front. Let's turn that guy a little bit that we see what he's doing. Then do like this. So, okay, it's just at the start. And normally it's not done. But I think when you want to set it this correctly, this guy needs to be on all the starts. Basically saying this is the start of the action. That is what you do. Okay. Is there something else we need to know about this setup? Do we see something else? No. Then here is, yeah, here. Okay, so we need to be aware of everything. Okay, 5 we don't need. So this, the moment you set your hit action, you will then be able to give it the direction. So that's basically what you do, the direction. So front, back, right, and left. Okay. And this is an enum. So that is plugin content that you cannot modify in my opinion. Okay, that's good. And then we need to look also, hold on, I'm gonna close number 4, number 5, the that action we need. And that action is basically nothing configured on it on the action side. That is this guy. What is the, yeah, I need to check something. I'm overlooking something. So the that montage again, that is just the montage and it's running from the default slot. So that I forgot to look. So go back one up. Oh, this guy I need. And this is playing on. This is playing also on the default. Okay. So that's not upper, lower. Oh no, this is playing on the upper body. Sorry, I was looking here. This is upper body. quickly verify our other one. It's still early in the morning. And this is, yeah, default slot, okay. Voila, that is what we need to do now. The hit action is a plugin action, so okay. And then I'm gonna drag this guy to the other screen. Launch the other one. So our own project, this guy. Let it do. I think it's opening in the other one. 95. Yep. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna first maybe do the that. Quickly check if our settings are correct. Gameplay tags. Close this guy. I was already doing some other stuff. That and hit is here. Okay. Then we need to have where did I put it? No, hold on. I need to see where I put it. Here is the one we are working on. Is that correct? Yes, normally it is. We have actions, consume, we have action drink, we have action food. Here, this was what I added for myself. So, am I missing one? Where are our other actions? Consume, drink. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's correct. No, it's correct. Then we are interested in two more. 1, 2. Oh yeah, you cannot. You first need to set it. Okay, so this guy will be our dad. That is the simplest one. That. Go over here. Set the action and that action. Oh, where did he go? There he goes. And now we need to have that. We got that front montage. And that. Yeah, okay, that's a that front montage. Voila, that's the same one as in the sample, because as you remember, I also copied some asset from, or migrated some assets from the sample project to speed things up. Okay, so that is for our that animation or action to play. Hold on, because I find this part I find very irritating when it always opens everything you don't need. Okay, 3, there's one more normally. Yep, there he is. We need to have one more. Okay, this will be the hit. Okay, then this will be the hit action we defined. Okay. Hold on. Close. This is what we need. Then expand the action. Then our directories. And then for this, that's the one from the sample, like you see. I'm gonna select that. But this is the overall hit. So I think, I'm not sure, we will see once we're evaluating, let me say, the hit also need to be more specific. And which one was containing the hit? The hit is in the actions we open, so we have hit. So I think later we will need to have like this is the hit unarmed. Everything that starts with the first category is basically your unarmed moveset that has been used. So I think it's wiser maybe to hit by a bullet, for example. So once you're hit by a bullet, then later on duplicate this. Once you're hit, for example, or by projectile and then by hit melee, for example. So when you're hit with a sword, and then you need to look what you got in your animations first of all, before you can really fine-tune all your lines, basically, because the movesets, like if we go back to our gameplay text, so everything is a little bit connected, and that's why you also need to keep your namings a little bit on one line, that you always can go like, oh yeah, I have my action, consume item, okay, what items do I got? I got consumable items, okay, in which slot it needs to go, okay, I can choose, it can be a drink, or it can be a food, or it can be the regular consumable slot, for example. And then maybe you have a special move set when holding something, that you can run and walk, run, everything with something holding in your hand. All depends on again the animations you got. So that is basically the lines we need to always keep in mind when we're constructing this, because like I say, the sample project comes with the ID to give you guys an example how you can set up your bow, your sword, those things. Then a little bit about the plugin itself with setting up your camera and all those things. Hold on, I'm gonna drag it back so that you have a visual what I mean. So basically the blueprints is everything that is plugin related default, I would say, except then the characters are already set up for the RPG kind of game, and then some are already set up to be in examples. Then, like I say, everything that is blue in this case are examples. So this is the execution. So then you need to look into all those files, how they are set up. Then you can here test it, that section of the plugin. Same for the mage example. This is how it's set up. You can look everything up. And what is very interesting is if you go into the sample project, and then for example we only want, hold on, I'm gonna only want to have the animation blueprints. So these, animation blueprints, that's the only thing I want. And now you can compare all those animation blueprints, basically. That is the fundamental piece of your character, so that will do the actions and the movement and everything. We're gonna go over them one by one because it's important in the other sections. So we're gonna first look in the, hold on, I'm gonna That can stay open, that I close. I don't want to have any special things open, only the enum graph, and normally it's like this. So here, same thing again. Make sure that everything is called to parent. And then normally the other one you also need to have in it. Or what, begin play or something, or initialize animation, yeah, that guy. Then the footsteps, if you want to have your footsteps in it, but I don't think it was configured. I don't think so on the player. So that it is for our enum graph. Okay, then like I say, here you see also common actions, moveset. So he is not using basically this part of the plugin for the animal. That's normal. I don't see your animal all of a sudden pick up a gun and start shooting at you. So this is basically pure movement that you need to do on the animal. Then inside the enum graph, we're gonna take a look. So you already see it's pretty simple. You can not even play a montage because it's not holding a slot in between. Very important if you set up your enum blueprint and you want to play montages, you need to have like, I'm gonna show you, slot. Then this you just drop in the middle, you hook it up, and now if you have like, for example, a montage getting on the back legs, for example, when you sit on it and you press like, for example, spacebar and he goes on his back legs, then this is the guy that controls that you can play it. If you don't have it in it, then your montages will not play. Okay, I'm gonna remove it because I'm not gonna modify anything in the sample project. Then on this guy, there's nothing special. Then this guy, then it just is state, two states basically. Then the move is connected to the blend space of the horse that is created. And like these, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna remove this for a second. So when you first open it, it will be like this. So you have some functions and you don't see anything. Very important to not double your variables. For example, it's wise to show inherited variables. So basically, what is this? These are the C++ variables that Pask has been set. So if you click on them, then you already see that you get an arrow, ACF, and then these are, that we don't need. So these are all variables used by Pask. So you have your next move set, and then details. Yeah, details is over there, so that's good. So here you can then not on all set something, but you can use it. Like you see here, he's using the turn rate and the normalized speed. So normalized speed, and the turn rate is over there. So then when you want to add your own, then you have a choice in looking and putting more. And for naming conventions, it's very, very wise when you're setting booleans that you always start with a small b in front of it, that you know that's the correct naming for naming booleans. You see, b is moving, is in air, is moving, update speed, so it's always a b in front from the boolean. Okay, so that's that. Then we go one back. Then we have like, is he in the air? Is he not in the air? Then in the air is just playing a sequence. That is the only thing that is done on the animal in this case. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to just close that guy. This is the mage example blueprint from the character. So open that also. Is it opening? It's opening correct. So here, same thing. You see the update, the initialize, then the footsteps, basic handling. Then we go to the class defaults. We're gonna drag that a little bit over here. We're gonna first do just collapse everything. That is easier than that we do. So for this setup, you will then have like 11 common actions defined. So the basic ones from the sample project. And this one. Yep, down. Curse, you see, blast, summon, and yep. Then you have some moveset actions. What actions do we got? Let me see. Single hand and bow. Okay, so this guy can use the bow and he can use the sword. I'm not gonna go too deep in this at the moment, but like you already see, these have something to do with the moveset that needs to be defined before you can then equip it. So basically you need to hold on. So yeah, you see the action, the attack action is set to it. That is a sword attack, you see, that's for the sword. Then the action itself, we're gonna expand. Damage to activate, so then in this case it's set to the right weapon only. Then we didn't came to the damage part and everything, so that is something set. The costs, what does the cost will be? So stamina, so you will take 25 stamina when you use your sword. Okay, that is good. Ew. Then is there, so in this case we cannot see the animation graph because we're using the child of the base basically. Moveset. What is special on the moveset? We have the basic unarmed moveset, so our idle first moveset, just walk around. Then we have a moveset that he is able to use a bow. So again, then the bow movement, the bow idle, the aim offset. So very important, you need to have those aim offsets. Then the jump. So this basically you need. If you don't have this, then it's not wise to add the moveset, in my opinion, you know, because then, for example, you don't have the jumps here. Yeah, then you will be going with the bow to the idle jump. Yeah, and that is not pretty realistic. So it's always good that you have the complete set before you build your moveset. Very complicated sometimes. Then moveset, yep. Then we have that single sword moveset. So that is spear movement, spear idle. So comes again from that spear hit. So the spear hit is basically then the the hit when you get hit by a sword. Then here same thing, jump start. Okay, so that is for the moveset. So he only has 2 extra movesets. Okay, close that. We don't need to do anything. That is the multiplayer. Same thing. It's opening on the other one. Same thing. It's going over it. Then here, the actions. He only has like 8 actions defined on him. That's the multiplayer one. He got Same thing, the shooting and the sort for the sample project actions. Same thing, move, basic one, then the bow movement and the single sort movement. Okay, so that's basically the same, nothing special to the other ones. Then here is the rider. That can be interesting. Rider, go over here for the moment. So the rider already, you see, he is coming from another base class. That's the ACF rider anim instance class that you see here. So again, you know how you need to do it. Just do it here, for example. Close this. New animation blueprint. Then we need to have rider. You see, rider, and then you can take the skeleton you need. Okay, and then that will be this guy. Okay, the rider. What do we see different? We need to copy this. Is all the code coming, switching. Is there rider post? This is something new. This part. So that is why you always need to really go over everything, because it's pretty common that you just flip over something, you know, or overwatch something. So that we're going to do. So just to steer the blend space, save it in a chase pose. New. Then is there something else that we see? Yes, this is also added. So this is basically your switching. Okay. Post switch, default current. So this is basically everything to do with the writing. This part, hold on, I'm gonna drag it a little bit to here. So this is basically writing. That is maybe not so. Okay, is this looking at? Okie dokie, that is the additive blend space. Okay, then we're going to go to our class defaults. Again, just collapse everything because the root motion is that is not modified. Modifiers, nothing. Then again, this guy. Then close everything for a second. The rider got 3 movement sets, so that will be our default one. Again, the bow and the single hand sword. So that is for everybody the same. And this got the movement action, same. Common actions, he also gonna do 8. Okay, so that is also the same. So close that guy. So like you see, this is something added. So this is something you need to, we will do when we come to the mount part, but this is something you need to keep in mind. I'm gonna leave it that we always have the separation of the code. Okay, that's for that guy. And then again, we only are interested in this. Then, very, that is just the sample one. This, oh, sample one. This is also common actions. Just close those. Ah, he got more. So this got the 8 common actions. He got still the 3 move set actions. He got one more. He got one more. So he got the shooting. he is able to shoot. Okay. Or did I overlook that? Then movement sets. What he got? The default, the bow, the single, and the sword. And he got like the rifle movement set. He got a crouch movement, so that's to see you holding a weapon. Right, that is the one that is holding the weapon. Okay. Yep, that is the rifle guy crouching. So that is good as learning in our case, because like now you see again crouching when he's holding the weapon, but when he's holding the bow and he's going to crouch, then he will do this. So that is not what we want. So we need to also do then crouch dot maybe the type of or the category of weapon it's holding. Iron sight. So let me quickly look what this guy. So that's basically the standing holding the rifle. Yep, that is the standing holding the rifle. You see, direction, speed. Okay. Then what else can he do? That was that. So like you already see, we need to look how we're going to, because he's calling it iron sight when he's standing with the weapon. So but yeah, that is really personal, I think, in your workflows. Okay, so that is that one. So you see a lot of difference already, yeah? And then we still have those rampage and spider. So let's first take a look at this guy. What do we see? Already you see, hold on, is something first event graph? Did we something change it here? So he's checking, but he's not doing anything. So basically this is not doing much. Okay, so nothing done in the event graph. Then take a look again, ground locomotion. So he set up his ground locomotion. Then the aim offset is set. Okay, then this is upper body, full body. Okay, and this is AK foot controls. Okay, and then he goes from the full body, the default slot for the animation, for the montages to be played, and your end state. Okay, then class defaults, how is that set up? Close it. So in this case, again, no movement set, so he's not using movement sets, so the movement is done by yourself, not by the, what was it called? Movement component. Let me quickly verify before I say something stupid. Blueprints, character, that guy, and I'm saying it's handled by the locomotion component, this guy. Okay, so he's not using that. Okay, that's good. So we only had the common actions, so like the attack, and then the specific attack for this guy, you see. So now this is really specific. And then again, for this guy, the hit, let's take a look at this guy, how it's built up. Again, you see, back, front, left, right, but there are no action notifiers set in this instance, like for example, stop, put it at the front, and then say like this guy. So there's no notifiers defined in this guy. Okay. So, and this is basically how you really need to go over everything. So don't, then he has a specific. So that's what I always say, like it doesn't matter if you use the sample project. The moment you come to your own characters or heroes or whatever, AI that need to do special things, you already see that you need to have your own montages set up correctly. Okay, so that was that guy, so we don't need to. Then again, I want to have the animation blueprints only, and then the last one, the spider. Okay, the last one is the spider. How is the spider? Event graph. First thing first, he is not even calling his parent. Okay, so he basically, this calls the functions from the base file, and then you hook it up and you connect, and everything that comes behind it is your own code. Okay, and then if you then create a child from the spider ABP, then this will be basically first calling this one, and by this one is calling then all functionality from the base one. But if you don't do this and you just code, then you will never get the functionality from the parent. Okay, that we don't need, we don't gonna mess with that. I'll set it up like that, so the reason for that. Then again, common actions, like you see, also not using the movement sets. He's only giving the actions. Same thing, attack, hit, you see, and that. So like you already see, these are basically the default actions you need to have set up before a character can do something, you know. And that is what we are doing, and everything else is really specific to your character, for example, or your game. Like if you're making a shooting game and instead of an RPG, then it will be all rifle and bazooka and then you name it, montages you need to create and movesets instead of people walking around with swords and bows. So voila, that is it for this. I'm not gonna save anything. I'm just gonna close this. Don't save anything that we don't break. Let's quickly check what we were doing here. These I'm gonna just remove back because step by step. Save that guy, close that guy. Here we did what we did. Okay, we cannot test it at the moment, that will come later, but they will work. As in setup wise, it's done correctly now. What we gonna do in the next? What we gonna do in the next? Hold on, close this for now. Go back to the project settings. What we gonna do next? I was doing another action. Like you already see, punch. Then I divided it, the consume items, and drinking items, food items. Okie dokie. Interact, we basically don't need. It's in there, but you don't need it. That's what boss told me. So the interact is basically not needed. Okay, AI command. Ooh. Statics is just both. And what was I? Okay, ranged damages that we also don't need. Then we're going to go to the items. Armor consumer interactable is optional. Melee and range, swords and shooting items. Okay, then the slots. Same thing, don't need it. This is also personal preferences, how you go over this. Yep, these can be expanded maybe later on. Okay, then movement sets, prone, fight, default, crouch, fight, prone. So this is still something I need to look, because I want to look if I have a complete set first of all. Crouching in unarmed state. So first I'm gonna do everything from the unarmed state. That part is completely okay. Here the same thing. Because when you're fighting you can also be crouched. Yeah, you cannot be prone when you're fighting, except later on maybe when we are going to shoot, when you're laying on the ground. Yeah, maybe. But I'm going to see again the animations we got and if we can set up the full set. Okay, then that is it for the tags. Then advanced. This is also something for later when we're going to expand the parameters and the statics and everything. Then we need to, let me quickly check. Yeah, that is all okay. This is set, but this is not completely configured on everything. We set our base world item. Yes, that's that guy. We set up an apple and we set up a health potion. We set up an apple and we set up a health potion. Okay. Yeah, when I press num key 5, it's taking my health. That we also did. Then when we go to the apple, I can take the apple. When we go to the health potion, I can pick up the health potion. Then, what was it? 3 is taking the apple to health. That is also correct. Okie dokie. So, what we can do in our next videos. So the character already has a simple moveset. It's playing the footsteps. Yep, that is really the basic one. Now we need to start on the actions, movement sets that are game specific. So I'm gonna wait with the game specific things. We need, hold on, I'm going over it. That's okay for now. And the game instance is just the game instance. The modes is the modes, widgets, data tables. This guy we also need to do the damage calculator. That we also need to set up because I just created a new one and we need to override this function, but we need to create some functions in it. But I'm gonna first investigate this a little bit because I want to have it completely okay, so I'm gonna investigate it before we do something. Okay, that we need to do, very important, before it's handling any damage. Yeah, characters. You don't need to be. Okay, so this is our base character. That is moment okay. Locomotion. Don't need to do anything for the motion for the moment. The static reset. Then the collision component. Here we need to start adding stuff. Here we need to start adding stuff. Here we need to add stuff. So this will be head normally, if I'm correct, the first one. Then you need to define the start and radius. Then we need to say what kind of damage it is. Then again, a sound, an effect. Okay. Don't do anything for the moment, leave it, don't save anything. Then the equipment component. So for the moment we only have the consumable, the drink and the foods configured on the guy. So he can basically only consume stuff and not pick up a weapon or something. Okay, that's good. Yes, and that damage handler, Arctal. Yep. If you have those animations, you can create the montages and you can put it here. So this is basically when it's knocked down and when it's getting back up. Getting back up from the front, getting back up from the back. Okay. Voila. I'm gonna check what we are going to do in our next video. But for now, we have set up our basic project actions and our basic movement set. That is what we did now. Okay. Yeah, that is. I'm gonna look. Can be that we are, because we still need to remember this guy, that we don't forget that base NPC. But yeah, we need to have a lot more than only the base ones I saw, because there are a lot more characters we can be using. But these all use the same actions, the same movement sets, except if it's specific to that AI character. Can be an animal, can be something else. So, but it's always the same workflow you need to follow from this point on. Doesn't matter if you're going to use the sample project and follow the other guys' videos. Everything is the same. From your animation, set up your animation. If it involves footsteps, set the notifiers and the synchrone and the sync markers. Then create your montage, set your notifiers for your actions and everything, set your sections, name your sections. If it has multiple sequences in a montage, define everything on the character, on the animation blueprint, and then go from there. So what, I'm overlooking something, I feel it, I'm overlooking something. we also need to be in the controllers. And I think that we need, oh yeah, that guy, this guy, that is still in the, plugin content. So this guy we need to also do. Therefore you need to have like, but that is also something a little bit game specific. If you look to that, or those camera positions, let's take a look on those files. It's loading the data tables. That's the other one we opened. Actor class. Is there something special? No, you can use your cinematic camera or the regular camera. Okie dokie. Nothing special to see here. Is there something in the code? Nope. Nothing in the code. Everything is inheriting from the other one. From the parent. Nothing configured. Voila. Yeah, that's good. So I will call it a day for this time, as we're closing in on the end of the year. Can be that I'm doing one more video this year, I will see, or otherwise the series continue next year. So yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good end of the year, and bye bye.